Now, what in the Carnival is going on here? We have a lawsuit being filed against Carnival Cruise Line by a man that said while he was sailing on one of their ships, he sustained an injury so bad that he had to have a body part removed, amputated, and now he wants some money. He's saying that Carnival was essentially negligent and they didn't provide the safety mechanisms that required to avoid the injury. Now, we are going to go into the details and little giblets of this situation, but I gotta be honest with all of you. Personally, I am more on Carnival's side with this. However, we are going to look at this whole conundrum and try to look at it from both perspectives. Just over 1 year ago, back in September of 2022, there was a passenger that was sailing on board the Carnival Horizon cruise ship out of Miami by the name of William Tuttle. This man was staying in a balcony cabin. However, at some point during his cruise, he sustained an injury via the balcony door. The door slammed so hard and so aggressively that it crushed his index finger, causing it to, unfortunately, having to be amputated. Between you and me, there are two types of injuries that I am absolutely afraid of almost every second of my life. The first one is shin injuries. You know, that space in between your knee and your foot. You ever hit your shin on the edge of the bed? It is not fun. The second would be finger injuries. I don't know why finger injuries hurt and annoy me so bad. If you've ever had your finger slammed in a door, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't even imagine having an injury so bad that you have to get it amputated, cut off, never seen it again, gone to the shadow realm. Ugh. Anywho, when it comes to this poor soul, the passenger that was sailing on board the Carnival Horizon that sustained a finger injury so bad that it had to be amputated, they are demanding Carnival pay them $75,000 for their pain and suffering. Along with that, the passenger also brought evidence of 11 other incidences that took place in which passengers sustained some kind of injury via the balcony door. There's also a maritime lawyer by the name of Michael Winkleman that's throwing his hat into the ring as well and chiming in on the matter, stating that when it comes to finger injuries and incidents as a whole, as far as the balcony door is concerned, it is not uncommon. It happens all the time. In fact, there are injuries that happen that are so common in which people end up unfortunately having a finger amputated, or sometimes even all of them amputated from the door slamming so hard. There are two primary reasons as to why these types of unfortunate injuries take place. The first one is due to wind. Let's say, for example, the ship is sailing, you're on your vacation of a lifetime, and some strong gust of wind hits towards your balcony door and it slams it shut. The second one would be due to air pressure. I don't mean to sound all scientific and act like I know what I'm talking about, but basically between, let's say, the balcony door, your cabin, and the door to get outside, there's going to be a pocket of air that is contained in there. There is something that you can read inside of the room that tells you you don't want to have both doors open. By that they mean, of course, the door to go out to the hallway outside to the other part of the ship and the door to your balcony, because when you open said door, it's going to cause a lot of wind and air to just kind of rush in, thus unfortunately and potentially slamming that balcony door so hard, and if you are in the way and caught in the crosshair, you could sustain some injuries and maybe amputation of some fingers, which you obviously want to avoid at all costs. Getting back to the lawsuit, the argument here is that Carnival did not implement the proper safety measures by way of either some type of dampener or door stop in the event that there is some strong forced winds or maybe the air pressure is compromised. It wouldn't allow the door to close all the way to the point to where it could potentially injure somebody, like in this case where somebody has to get their fingers crushed and then eventually amputated. At this point in time, Carnival has yet to provide the details as far as the mechanism that's being used in terms of safety, as far as like a door stop or anything like that, which I guess could be maybe a positive for the man that is suing Carnival, because, well, they don't exactly know what is helping out this situation to avoid these types of injuries. Now, to be completely honest with you and give you my own opinion on the matter, I would say that this is more so negligence, it looks like, on the passenger end more so than it is Carnival. We do see that this does happen a lot, apparently about once per month as far as it being documented, and, well, maybe in the case of like a lawsuit or something of that nature. However, when it comes to, let's say, something like air pressure, Carnival does have signs that say you should not open both doors. Don't open the balcony door and the cabin door at the same time because, well, the air pressure can cause some injuries. When it comes to the gust of wind, well, you should be a little bit more proactive. By that I mean just visually just looking out for where you are, where your hands are at all time, and don't get so careless to the point to where you're just assuming that nothing can go wrong all the time. Now, the quantity, the amount of times this happens on cruise ships could also be a case in favor of the passenger, in which you could say that Carnival maybe or may not have implemented the right safety measures because this is happening so consistently that Carnival could be doing more, but they just simply aren't. Being neutral, though, we can make cases for not just the cruising industry, but the world as a whole. I guess we should all just wear bubble suits and run around the world while we, I guess, live life, which obviously that's no life to live at all. There are going to be risks. There is the potential for injury literally wherever you go on Earth. So trying to make a case and trying to file a lawsuit because you maybe were just not paying attention and maybe Carnival could have done more, like put foam on the corners of every desk or something like that. I don't really know exactly what angle is supposed to take here, but personally I do believe that when it comes to Carnival, they are doing everything they need to do. As far as the doors, I think it's kind of black and white. Put the sign so people understand cabin pressure. When it comes to wind, I think it should just be kind of natural to expect that there is the potential for a gust of wind to come in and slam any door, because this happens on land too. Anyway, this should be an interesting one. This is going to be the cruise line versus the passenger. Maybe this is going to be a David and Goliath type story. No, probably not really. But of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Who do you think is in the wrong here? Is it Carnival for not providing, let's say, maybe enough safety equipment to keep everybody safe, like more door stops or making sure they actually work and function properly? Or is it the passenger for potentially, again, we don't know exactly how this kind of happened, potentially not paying attention to where his fingers were? As unfortunate as it is, nobody wants to get a finger amputated, especially an index finger. I can't even imagine. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Know as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you later. Take it easy.